Let me know once you guys see my screen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I see the
Okay,
screen now.
perfect. I know you guys are aware of it, but again, just since that Rapson also had that question, let me take through the very basics first. Okay. We know we are dealing with ERP. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, right? So why we use this let's take a very simple example. You want to run a business, right? Now you want to know all the process within the business in one single
Hello?
Bharat, you're not audible.
Hello.
I
Sir,
think
we
there's a
can't hear
network.
you.
Yes, I think there's a network issue. So let's see.
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, sorry
Let
guys.
me call. Okay.
I think there was a power cut, so internet got restarted. So can you guys hear now?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Can you guys see the screen as well?
Yeah, we seen the
Yes,
screen.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just starting with the ERP part. We know there are different ERPs available in the market, right? Let me take a few examples. Like we have SAP, we have Oracle. Similar to this, we have our D365. Now, when I say D365, under D365 there is CRM, which is CSF now, right? There are different products. So we're going to focus on D365 F&O, which stands for Finance and Operation, and few also will call as F and SCM, finance and supply chain management. So this is the product which we're gonna focus on. So when you hear D365, under that you also have Business Central. Business Central is also ERP product, but it is used mainly for a small industries, whereas F&O is used for large and medium scale industries. Okay, someone is trying to join. Okay, so that's your D365 F&O. Now, when it comes to F&O, the previous version of F&O was called as AX. So when you guys are even applying for a role, sometimes in the job role, they would mention AX. AX is nothing but the previous version of F&O. So F&O is basically a cloud version, whereas your AX was your on-prem version, right? You guys should know these basics. So that was your on-prem, and now Microsoft is stopping supporting the AX 2012 or even the 2009. They have stopped the support. So a lot of project is coming where people are migrating from AX to D365, right? So when I say migration, again I will talk about it. I will explain the process and everything. So whoever is using that product right now, they are moving to F&O, and that's adding a lot of project with respect to F&O. Now, when it comes to F&O, it's mainly divided into two category. One I would say is functional, and the other one is technical. Okay. There is a scope for techno-functional also, someone who understands both the technical and functional, but I would say the availability of resources is very less because it's two different world, and not everyone can understand much about. If you understand technical, understanding functional would be difficult, or if you understand functional, understanding technical would be good. Not that it's not possible, but it depends on individuals, right? So in the technical, the language that is used is X++. Okay, this is a language which is specifically dedicated to F&O. Like the other language, the other products works on different language, right? Majority is .NET, but the F&O works on X++. There's a talk from Microsoft that the language is going to slowly move from X++ to .NET, so that you can add more resources, because most of them do come from .NET background. So that's a plan for Microsoft, which is still in progress. So again, that's a different story. So this is a technical part where doesn't matter which module you're working. If you're a technical consultant, you can easily use the X++ language for the entire product and work on. And the technical role would be more on working with functional to understand the design and then build the design, and then deploy the environment and those sort of things using the code changes, which technical do. But our focus is on the functional area. So when I say functional area, what are the roles and responsibility? I will again take through that in some time. So within functional, the key for functional is we will have a module specific. We have finance, we have ACM, we have retail, and there are a few other more HRM and other modules. Okay. So within that, we will focus on finance. Now, when you guys start, for example, like what Pat said, he is currently an SEM consultant, and after 3 years, he wants to learn finance. So it's that, right? Once you get accomplished to one particular module, have a good knowledge on that, good experience, then you can definitely add other modules to your portfolio. But then to begin with, it's always good to focus on one area because it's very vast. So it does take a lot of time to understand. So we will be focusing more on finance. Now, before I go for course content, right? For those of you, I think majority of you are from the finance background. So I hope you guys understand the basic accounting, at least the general rule, golden rules of accounting. And part since I don't know, you are from SEM background, I don't know if you are aware of this. Uh, do you know golden rules of accounting?
I mean, I read back then in my MBA days.
Okay, so you
So
have an MBA, then that should be fine. See, just understanding why I would say that is for everyone, that is right. If you guys, it's been long for you guys that you have seen the golden rules, just brush up because our complete see 80% is the system, understanding the system logic and other thing. But in order to build the system logic, the base is still the golden rules of accounts. So we're going to build majority of it from that. So at least 10 to 15%, it depends on the golden rules. The rest is all the logic from the system perspective. So just brush up your account. It's nothing much, right? Just understanding the golden rules of account, that is more than enough to understand this complete finance process. So before we start, just brush up there, so you will be ready to understand more of what's going to come your way. Anyway, so that's the finance part. So let me take you to the course content. So I have shared this document with everyone. If you guys have not received, let me know so that I will share across and you guys can go through. So just to begin with, first would be the overview of D365 Finance. So I would like to first not start directly with the system. Uh, there's one more thing which I would like to add in terms of how do you guys get an access to a particular place. Then there is an admin center. Obviously, as a functional consultant, we would not work on that, but you guys should be aware how things work in the back end in order to get your user access, in order to get the license. So I will spend a bit of time on that area as well. So and then I will give a little bit of introduction. So that's on the finance introduction side. Once we start from the system, first is the financial management, which is nothing but your general ledger module. So where we create legal entity, all the basics like legal, fiscal calendar, financial dimension, your account structure, your advanced rules, chart of accounts, ledgers. Then we start posting different kinds of transaction. Then how do you reverse those transaction? How do you post accrual transaction? Then your intercompany setups. How do you post intercompany setup? And the very important topic within that would be like journal names. So what is the use of journal names, approval process, right, within the journal names? How do you restrict a particular users to post a transaction? There are different concepts within that. So we will first do the basic setup, post a transaction, and then we will go around different concepts that's there within GL module. Then cash and bank management, there's a very simple module. So where you create a bank account and post a transaction. And when you have bank, the very important task you do within bank is bank reconciliation. So let's understand what is bank reconciliation, then how do you perform that activity. So that's on the cash and bank management side. Then we have accounts payable. So from the accounts payable perspective, I have divided into two. First would be non-PO invoices. That is where all the basics would come to picture, like how do you post the vendor invoice without PO, then vendor payment, credit debit note, advance payment. And to in order to post this transaction, you need to create a basics, like how do you create a vendor group, vendor, then how do you assign ledgers to those, basically sub ledgers that we're going to assign, right? So that you guys should be aware of from the accounts payable perspective. Then we go to purchase order process. So once the accounts payable is done, now the purchase order process comes into picture, where you have purchase order, then you do product receipt, then you do invoice, and each stage our focus would be on the accounting entries. So what are the accounting entries that's going to come when you do product receipt, and what is the accounting entry when you post invoice? And also there is like charges. So when you apply charges, how the accounting entry is going to change. When you apply tax, how the accounting entry is going to change. That's what we see from the purchase order process. Now, in order to complete the purchase order process, there's a little bit of setup that's required from the SCM, like your site, warehouse creation, item model group, item. So there are a bit of setup that needs to be completed from SCM, which we will cover at a high level. So I'm not going to go in depth of where if within warehouse we have advanced warehouse management. There are different concepts, so I'm not going to touch those. Just at a high level we're going to create so that we can use that in order to complete our purchase order process. So that's the purchase order process module. Then we have accounts receivable. Similar to our vendors, here we have the customer side. The first part would be posting the customer invoice without the sales order. So how do you create customer group? How do you map main account? Then you post your customer invoice and payment. Then we come to sales order process, which is also called as order to cash. So here again, like our purchase order, this is also a bit of integration from your SCM and finance module. So we will again focus a little bit on the SCM side, but majority on the accounting entries of like once you create a sales order and you do a delivery, what is the accounting entry? When you post invoice, what is the accounting entry? And additionally here what happens, there is something called as costing method, okay, or inventory valuation method. So let's say you take fee for weighted average. So you have purchased a particular product at a certain price. Now I'm selling at a different price, right? I will add some margin to it. Now what is the actual cost that is being consumed, and what is the price that I'm selling? So that will calculate your cost and revenue. So we will focus a little bit on that as well when I'm creating sales order. So let's do a complete process of purchase to sales. Yes, someone please go on mute. I think is it? I don't know. Okay, good. Thanks for going on mute. So that's on the sales order side, right? So not just understanding the sales order process, we will do an end to end from PO to SO, understanding the costing perspective. Okay. So then we have the fixed assets module. This is again core finance module, where you create all the setup that's required for fixed assets. Then we create a fixed assets, we acquire a fixed assets, then we post depreciation, which is a key activity within fixed assets, and then we either sale or scrap. Right, and fixed assets generally is integrated with different modules. When I say integrated, like I can acquire fixed assets by creating PO, I can do fixed assets from a vendor journal. I can do fixed assets from GL, or I can move fixed assets from inventory to fixed assets, right? So there are different ways of getting a fixed asset in place. So we will go through those areas as well. Then comes the tax module. Now, the key area within the finance is obviously tax. With with respect to tax, what happens is each country has a different rules, has a different logic, right? So it will not be possible to generalize tax. So whenever you guys get an opportunity to work on a project, you guys have to do research in terms of understanding those country policy. That would definitely be there, and it cannot be generalized. But majoritarily it's going to be sales tax or VAT, whether it's value added tax or a sales tax, the setup is going to be same, right? So I will cover those steps. You need to do those steps irrespective of whether whatever the country logic is, but then few things within the setup will change, so that you guys obviously have to research. So I will probably take US entity and cover the value added tax, but at the same time I will also give how different logic was in terms of if you're implementing for, let's say, Germany. How is the tax different from it is US? Like US and Germany both is sales tax. Okay. But when you're building the logic, the setup is going to be slightly different. So that part I will explain so that you guys get an understanding of how you can differentiate the setup within the same steps that we're going to do. So that part we will be covering. Then with terms of additional feature, let's spend a little bit time on the data management. So data management, again, it's mostly on you guys experiencing it, because once you start working on data management is when you get the issues and you understand. So there is nothing much I can do from there, but at least I can give you steps in terms of how you guys can execute data management, so you guys can spend some time and explore that. Then we have workflows. When you have approval process, so I will cover workflows as well. So it will help you guys to configure a workflow for approval process. Then personalization, basically within the form, how you can add the additional columns, or how you can delete that, how you can personalize those columns. So that we will spend some time. That as and when I reach those places, personalization I will cover as well. So this is going to be the course content. So you guys have additionally, just to add, I will also cover budget control. Probably I have not included that module here, but we will have budget control as well, which I will take probably one session and cover that as well. Okay, so that's the course content. So any questions from anyone?
Thank
Uh,
you. Okay, please go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, please. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So thank you, Bharat, for this. I mean, it's quite interesting. I mean, once I like tried to do all this thing, but failed miserably. So, just wanted to understand. It will be really great someday if you can just arrange SCM as well for the SCM thing. The training for base from the basics to advanced. Since I mean, it will help us to brush up our basics. I mean, it's been a while. We forgot
Mhm.
the configurations.
See, again, from SEM side, we would need purchase order and sales order, right? So that anyway I will cover
I
the
mean,
basics.
no, no, the warehouse management, the advanced warehouse management and everything. I mean,
That part
it's a very big thing. I
got
know.
it. So that's again, probably we'll see. I can probably ask Parth to help us there because he is from the SM background. Let me check what I can.
No, no, I'm the part. I'm speaking.
Oh, yours. Okay, okay.
I mean, it's just that it's been a while. The configuration, everything is missing from my head. So
Got it. So let's
that's
see
why.
what I can do there. Okay. From finance perspective,
Yeah,
don't need. Yeah, I'll cover completely. From SCM, let me cover whatever I can.
yeah. I mean, again, if you're not you, then anyone that will be more
Got
helpful
it.
to us.
I'll try to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Arun, you have your hands up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So,
Would it be possible that you can give a small glimpse of budget here, and can you in the taxation part you have mentioned about US taxation, but
Mm,
like in India, of course, we have GST. So would you
okay.
be again sharing a small glimpse there? I won't expect you have designed the course to cater the needs of all the guys. So, but
Okay.
still,
Let
is
me
it
put it
possible?
this way,
Just a
right?
request.
So the taxation system for the entire world, you can use the F&O environment. But if you want to implement for India, there's a separate tax engine. Just for Indian entity, you need to have a separate tax engine. Now, I don't have license to
Okay.
get that tax engine, so that's why I will not be able to cover that part. But I can share you a document that has a complete step in terms of how you can integrate and work on it. So that part, at least, I can help you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yes,
uh,
Ramson.
But
yes,
what about the
but
business scenarios?
Suresh, one second. Let me cover Ramson. I'll come back to you.
okay. Yeah, mine is a two or three question. One is I'm happy first. You have given us all the modules that you cover,
Mhm.
and data management and migration is interesting to me because I'm asking myself, eh, as a functional consultant, if we talk of data management and migration, that sounds more like it's becoming technical. Uh,
Mm,
if not, if not, I will say this because one time I looked at an interview question
mhm,
for functional consultant. They
mhm,
asked this question: do you know how to generate a security report that lists all users, their duties, and their privileges in D365 as a as a functional consultant. So I was asking myself, is this a functional or a technical role? Are they expecting a functional person to know all those about security with respect to data management? That is
Uh,
number one question. Let
okay.
me finish. The number two is with all these lectures that you give,
Mhm.
do you provide recordings? And if you do, how long access is given to your students
Okay.
post post
Mhm.
graduation, post completing the course?
Got it. You
Thank
you
you.
have one more. You said one more, or is that all your question? Okay. So let me answer this. The first question, when you said data management, um,
Yes.
there are two ways for data management. One would be setting up data management in terms of mapping the visualization and other thing, which the technical consultants will do. But using data management, let's say you have some data to be imported, that is something functional consultant is expected to do. Technical consultant might do, but as a functional consultant, we should know how to do that. With regards to data migration, okay, there is two way of doing data migration. The first one would be writing a script where all the fields from the AX, you will write a script which is done by technical consultant. So that there's a tool also, data migration tool, which will help you move from AX to F&O. In that tool you need to write few scripts and map the fields. That is done by technical consultant, okay. But within that, mapping, when I say mapping, okay, let's say invoice number, that is one field in F&O. That field, let's say in AX, is called as document number. So we need to tell technical consultant the document number should go to invoice number, right? So this part we will do, but how it is done by technical consultant. The second one from data migration is you will get data in an Excel template which will be given by client. Okay, we have to give them the templates. I will cover that part as well, and we have to upload that to our F&O. Now this process is done by functional consultant because there is nothing technical there. Okay, so we have to give templates. Those templates is readily available in F&O. You just need to use data management, click on export, all the templates will come. Whichever field is mandatory, whichever field is non optional, you will get to know that. So whatever is required, you will keep those fields, share that with client. Client will fill the data. If anything issue in the data, that is client responsibility. We are not worried about data. Okay, so once you receive those data, then you upload in F&O. This complete process is done by functional consultant. Okay, now, coming to your last question with regards to recordings, every session will be recorded. You will have access to that. There is no timeline for that. Uh, Even after finishing the course, 1 year, 2 year, you will have access to those recordings. There is no timeline restrictions on that.
Great. Great. Thank you.
That
Thank you.
answers your questions.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And Bharat,
Uh,
how much time it will take to cover all this content? I mean, how much days?
Approximately, I would say around 30 sessions, 27 to 30 sessions.
Okay, got it.
Sometimes it might depends on the sessions, right? If you have more questions, it will go up. If not, it might come down, but approximately 27 to 30 sessions.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Suresh, you had something to.
Yes, Bharat. And what about the real business scenarios?
We will definitely cover that. So as I told you, the first part would be doing the setup, right? Let's say
Okay.
let's create vendors. That is just the setup, but you should know what would be the client expectation. Let's say when you're creating
Yes, yes.
vendor, they would expect different number sequence, right? So how you can create those, that will be covered. We will discuss those scenarios. Every module we will discuss that.
Okay.
And also addition to that, if you guys are attending the interview, sometimes when you say you have experience, the question will come in such a way, have you worked on customization? If yes, what are those area? So I will cover that as well. Obviously we will not do customization, but at least I will give you the content. What is the customization, what is the process for those customizations, so which you guys can make a note and talk about it. Okay. Any other questions from the course content? Because this is what will be covered. So whatever you see in this document, that was what will be covered during this course. Additional things might come up as and when we discuss, but at a high level, this is what will be covered. So everyone good with the course content?
Yep.
Okay, I assume it's a yes. Okay. Well, also
Yes, sir.
wanted to cover the implementation process, but I think I would need more than 30 minutes for that. So probably I will cover that tomorrow. Um, yeah, unless you guys have any question, good for today.
Let's talk about your course fees. What is
Uh, can we
the
discuss
pay
that
structure?
separately? Because Lapson, can we discuss that separately? I am recording this for everyone, so I will discuss with you on
Okay.
that part.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Guys, anything else from anyone?
No, sir.
I don't have any.
Okay, perfect.
This is Jeff. This is Jeff.
Yes, Jeff.
Yeah, you were talking about a lot of people migrating from the H to that of the 360.
Mhm. Yes.
And so if we do the 360, like the functional part, are we not
Mhm.
going to have, do we, is it required that we have knowledge of migration, or you going to be doing the migration, or somebody going to be doing that, and you just going to be working with the data that is given to you?
See, we need to understand how the migration process works. Now, when I say migration, you don't need to understand the previous version, right? See, whether it's a migration or a new legal entity, the setup is going to remain same. The process is going to remain same. The only change is in migration, you need to upload data. In the
Okay.
other scenario, you don't have any data. You only have the master data. When I say master, like let's say vendors and other thing. When it comes to migration, you will have transaction which you need to upload. That's the only difference. The rest will remain same.
Okay. So, let's say, for example, if you are hired as a functional man and you go to a company, and the
Mhm.
company does not have any data, and they just give you raw data where it require you to put it into the system.
Hmm.
Do we have? Are we going to learn about that, or will there be somebody that
So
will do that
there should
for the
be.
company, or what?
Got it. So ideally,
Hmm.
we will see, from my experience, we would say no,
Yes.
right? So we will not be able to cleanse the data, right? We are not the end users to understand what data is required, what's not required. We are not going to do that. That's going to be done by the end user or the client side. They have to do it. What we're
Okay.
gonna do is only put it in a template and upload. Only that's our responsibility. Data cleansing is something they have to decide what data is required, what are the data that is not required, and they have to give in a format which we're going to share, not a random data.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
so yeah, that's how it is. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. Let's catch up tomorrow. And Rapson, please ping me, we'll connect.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.